Welcome to the Friendlyjordies Podcast. It's a brand new week.
With brand new events.
With brand new events, including...
Mislav broke his leg. But also, in more important news, I've just got to say, we did that Swollen Pickles react that you guys wouldn't shut up about. But you have to go to the paywall to watch it.
Sick. What about if I want to watch it?
Thank you very much for doing so. And can I just say, because it was just reminded me of it while I was thinking about the whole housing fiasco. I know I dump on Reddit a lot and reserve my right to do so because it is the cesspool of humanity coming together now with the boundary of people with no social skills, not needing social skills, but still interacting. Generally it's just absolute crap. But I do want to give a special mention and shout out to a couple that I saw that were fighting the endless tides of dickhead greens that are like, oh, we learned in Lenin that you're supposed to take institutions, so he's out taking it. We're going to take Friendlyjordies Reddit. Oh, that's so good. It's like, yeah, you can have it, dude. Well done. But there was a couple that was just endlessly fighting the tide of lunacy and idiocy in that whole half fight. And that was this guy called Dope Fish and this other one called Brisbane something or other. Guys, seriously, get in contact with me. I'd like to shake your hand.
Wow.
Because they were just there all the time, batting the idiocy away.
Really?
Well done. So we do have those two things. That's the upload. Also with the upload, if you would like to know my adventures to the sperm bank, I had my own misadventure this week. And it was more of a misfire, if we were to say anything. So if we would like to go...
Said too much.
I missed the jar. But if you want to know the big details of it, make sure you sign up to the upload.
The big detail. You couldn't hold it in.
Literally couldn't hold it in.
All right, okay. Let's start with... let's collect our thoughts. I was watching by the way, let's start with this. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but what's that podcast? Serious Danger? Dude, it's on my timeline. I was listening to their expert 1 hour long analysis of why the referendum didn't go through.
Yes, with two of the smartest political commentators in the country.
What's her name? The lady?
Whatever. Moonshine.
Yeah, Moonshine. Her analysis was. So I'm not making this up, bro. So I looked at the electorates, right, to see, and in Queensland, this one electorate that I can't remember the name of, but she remembered it, overwhelmingly voted no, and it's a conservative one. So I don't know why we're even doing this podcast. I think the answer is simple. Conservative, racist people rule this country.
Yep, there you go.
Weren't you voting no until like a week before? Fucking moron.
Oh, really?
They're such idiots. Constantly just wavering. What?
And then on Walid Ali on Project said, I'm going to quote this. I want you guys to collect your thoughts on this. He said, the referendum was too complicated for the less educated Australians to understand. After only most elite suburbs voted yes.
Wow, his training from the Channel 10 officials of how to be relatable to the average Australian have really paid off, haven't they?
I think I know where he's coming from. Here's the big
question that I think we need a second referendum on. How does Walid Ali still have a job? How? Connections or like contract? Those are the options.
And then do a second referendum of is he good at guitar or not?
Damn, a rare multi-referendum question.
No, two separate referendums.
Well, no, because didn't you hear? The Australian public's too stupid, so how are they going to do it on both?
Oh, I see.
All right, so why do you think the referendum didn't go through if it's not that? Okay, so let me give Walid Ali some credit because a lot of conservative news media has been smashing him for this opinion, but I think where he's coming from after like listening to a lot of his podcasts back in the day where he spoke about this, he is saying this in the context that when the Uluru Statement was first made, he's been following it, and so the demand for voice for him was a natural consequence of what they were asking for, and the general public wasn't privy to this conversation, whereas they were just sprung upon this whole idea of like, there's going to be an oversight body in the parliament, we're going to enshrine it in the constitution, and he's saying that they couldn't handle it. It was just too much information for them. I'm not saying he's right, but I'm saying I'm giving him like a little...
I think...
okay, so he wasn't saying, they're too stupid to like read yes and no.
I think
he wasn't
I think Albo
saying
didn't... I think everyone could concede that Albo didn't probably go the best way about being transparent, or at least, you know, sort of like from a PR point of view.
No,
like,
I think that was all media spin of them trying to make it more complicated than it is.
Right. Okay.
See, this is a major thing.
Dude,
I honestly think that it was just a very simple question, and there's very simple reasons as to why.
Sure.
Okay, well, what do you think? This is, in my opinion, obviously there would be heaps of reasons, but this is the chief one. The Yes campaign made the entire referendum question into a moral argument as opposed to a practical argument.
Yeah, but they tried to correct that towards the end. They absolutely did, because you saw it too much.
Late.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing is as well, sitting there and saying, if you vote no, you're a racist. Well, that's a very good way to burn through all of the capital that they had at the beginning of it. Absolutely. But the thing is, I do not think that the major Yes campaign was doing that. I don't think that that was them. I think that it was all the fuckwits online that attached their ego and narcissism to it. Of like, I'm a good person. Look at me doing my shitty. Oh my God, have you seen it? That really cringy dance of that, like, yummy mummy, doing that dance of like, we didn't start the fire. And she thinks she's so cool doing it. It's sad. But that's a massive reason, I think. It's the problem with it is that if you went at it from the perspective of what the Yes campaign was doing, that would be fine. But then it gets through the whole media churn of like, oh, we got to turn this into a massive event and make it seem bigger than it is, because what else are we going to talk about? We're definitely not going to be talking about policy, so let's do that instead.
Yeah,
So
also,
I thought
how
there was
about we
that,
let the big banks tell us how to vote during this insane cost of living crisis and huge interest rates?
That's exactly it, don't you think? It was the outside influences from the Labor Party and the trade union that I think were pretty on message, and when you listen to them, they were making the argument correctly, and they weren't doing it in a patronising, talking downy way. But obviously, corporate Australia getting involved, I think that that's like just such a bad look. Just know this: whatever side hipsters are on, the rest of Australia is not on that side. Like if hipsters were just like, I just think we should vote no because, like, we owe them more. Like, everyone would just be like, that's it, I'm voting yes, fuck you. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, it's those people getting attached onto it that was the thing. Look, now you see all of Sky News and One Nation and all of this just be like, they said misinformation. Are you misinformed? So they're getting a bit testy about the fact that everybody is picking up on.
Let's get to that, because I have a question relating to that. But let's let me okay. What do you think? Maybe I'm wrong, but instead of the Yes campaign's argument being that if we enshrine the voice in the Constitution, this is going to do a great service for Indigenous people because they'll feel like, you know, they're heard and all of that stuff. Instead of that, what if their convincing tactic was, by enshrining the voice, we'll be able to help Indigenous people a bit better. This is a practical system that will help us identify problem areas that we wouldn't be able to sitting here in Canberra. Having a few elders that are from that particular region, having their voice in our ear all the time is going to help us bridge the gap.
So you're just saying getting rid of the moral argument entirely?
Yeah, I think the moral argument could be completely gotten rid of.
Get rid of it.
Because what we've noticed is, I'm not even saying like it's necessarily, I would say that the moral argument is important, but if we're looking at things from a practical point of view, most of the world doesn't like moral arguments.
Yeah, of course.
You might like them, I might like them, and it was a moral argument to be made, but
Focus on the practicality.
if you want to like win,
I don't like moral arguments
like,
because it's just it's exactly what everyone was picking up on, which is it is just satiating the egos of the seats that voted yes, because that's the only reason they're attached to it. It's because it makes them feel morally superior to do it. That was a big reason. See, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot this week, because I started reading Neville Rand, which was just this genius politician in the 70s and 80s, a Labor Premier. And I talked to you about it, Ali, but doesn't this sum up politics so well? And this is something that I really want to be hitting on when we go to Queensland. So everybody listening, you Labor diehards, I think that we should all be heeding the advice of Mr. Neville Rand, which is, this is his philosophy of politics summed up in a nutshell. And it's just the best, most concise way anyone has ever explained politics to me. Give the greedy bastards $1.
Boom.
That's all it is.
in fact, you made it such a good call. What was that over the phone when you were saying like, if any money that you're not getting is welfare, and any money that you're
getting is a benefit.
Is a benefit.
That's how people see it. And look, I think that there is a sliding scale. There are people that are genuinely altruistic. Like, you see the people at the Yes booths that were volunteering, and most of them were just nice old hippies being like, yeah, if you want to vote no, that's fine, but I think that it'd be good. And they were nice people, yeah? And then you see most of the no people handing out, and there are these crotchety old people of the same age being like, no. It's like in their body, their entire body is just, no. And then everyone, all the old hippies, yeah, man, I'll try that LSG. Yeah, I'll give weed a try.
There was, no matter what the policy is, they're like, no. That's just they can't not say no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just seemed to be an embodiment of these people saying yes and no for 60 years. That's how they go. But that is something about, this is something that we cannot take away from this. So you're going to have dickheads like the Greens and shit being like, let's go photo, we're just in a racist nation and all that kind of shit. Dude, I don't care what the constitutional amendment is. It is not getting up. And it is because the biological bias in your brain is to say no to everything. Is to just say no. That is what your brain says to
things. As John Howard describes that exact phenomena as Australians have something called the Celtic's pessimistic nature.
Damn.
Yeah. I saw that.
He's so
Celtic pessimist.
So right.
Pessimist.
Well, I don't know. Really,
that's what they have.
How many Australians are, first of all, Celtic?
Yeah, well, it's
but it's just like that culture is ingrained into us. It so is.
It is. It's kind of just the status. Yeah.
I don't see the need for that. We're getting by fine as it is.
Yeah.
That's how they see it.
And that is what Aussies are. Like, in terms of, like, temperament, Aussies are quite conservative. They're just kind of just like, Nah, that's fine. No, don't change that. Just stay. You know what I mean?
Did you see the Tony Abbott clip as he walked out from the poll booth?
No.
Some guy was like, Tony, you're not wearing your glasses. How are you even able to vote? I was like, mate, one thing I need glasses to write a big NO. and then the guy says, Tony, always on the wrong side of history, mate.
Oh,
really?
Such a good call. Well done. It's so insufferable, aren't they? It's just, look, you know what I will say about this as well? I honestly think that the person that made the best post speech, because you go to Dutton, you go to Jacinta Price, they're obviously just gloating, right? And so was everyone on Sky News. And then immediately, because their Sky News got angry that Anthony Albanese said this isn't the result that I wanted. Yeah, and how dare he not step down?
Yeah, actually, that was what I wanted to get to.
Propose something.
Is he a dead man walking?
No, fuck no. Of course he's not.
No,
he's expended a bit of political capital. That's undeniable. But like, I genuinely think that the general vibe of people is like, yeah, he really wanted this up, but we don't want it. That's how people see that.
That's how it should be seen.
Yeah.
He made an election promise. He fulfilled it.
And I think that Tony, I think that his conciliatory speech was, he was obviously upset by it, and there was that, and like it wasn't a great conciliatory speech, but it wasn't bad. He wasn't. Again, he's not talking down to no voters. I really want to make this very, very clear. I am not of the view that everyone that voted no is voting no because they just want to get one on the Aboriginals.
I mean, particularly because it's 70% of the population, bro. Like, you can't.
Exactly. Like, just really don't. It's so stupid and moronic. And I don't think that he sees it like that as well. I think it's a constitutional vote. They never get up. But I will say this. I think Tony Abbott did make the best speech at the end of it all.
Really?
I think he was like the most like even keeled. He wasn't particularly gloaty about it, and he was just like, to all the Aboriginal people out there, this is not a rejection of you. This was a rejection of changing the government.
You didn't do enough.
You failed, mate.
Close. B minus.
I'm gonna write a big NO to you for that performance.
But also, I was telling Jordan.
I
was just telling Jordan, like, even though that was the result, I feel like, it probably is like open the conversation of like,
how to bridge the gap better.
Yeah, putting it on the table and opening it up. And there's obviously Labor has a way higher representation.
Okay, so let's talk about, on that note, let's talk about the disinformation that you were talking about. how much of that actually plays a role? We're going to talk about the New Zealand election as well, where it's become a big issue for them. Is the whole disinformation thing a credible criticism or no?
I mean, it's very obvious that played a huge role, seeing as you had Jacinta Price win. She won outright, very convincingly. And then she comes out and someone says, I don't know, remote Aboriginal communities in the Northern Territory overwhelmingly voted for yes. And then she goes, I don't think that's right. I think we need to review that vote up there. I don't think that they voted that way.
Shit.
We need... Yeah. She's challenging essentially an electoral result that she won. Right. I made that joke in my video that we would start getting to a point where politicians would start questioning results that are in their favour.
That's bizarre.
And we're already there. And the reason that they are doing that is obviously not because they truly think that. It's because there is a large section of the population that does.
Do you think so?
So it's getting bigger.
You think that she doesn't believe that?
I don't think so, man. I really don't. I don't think that she's stupid enough to think that. She's a very switched on, articulate woman.
So she knows that there's a certain percentage or certain group of people that think that, so she's just placating.
I think you're putting too much emphasis on her. I'd blame Kamal, to be honest. His recent
Kamal.
His recent
yes shot up when she said I was a semi-informed yes, but then it was a no, and then it was back down to 60%.
I think Kamal has now changed his mind. He's now a yes voter.
Australia sways by the whim of Kamal.
Who is Kamal?
He was a singer in like the 70s that I thought died a long time ago.
So did I.
Like I
think that was the big story of the entire referendum. Yeah, that guy's still alive and he's still touring. Get tickets while you can.
At least there was some honest
Port
information.
Macquarie Glass House. I don't know who he is. Like we just came in from like the West Indies in the 70s. It was just like, do you like Tom Jones? Like kind of. It's like, well, I'm the next best thing.
Like, well, I guess he's not here a lot. So.
You can
so is that what he is? He's just like that Queen cover band we saw.
I don't know if he did originals. I don't know. I wish
I've heard one of his songs.
Oh, okay.
It was, I guess...
It's not unusual to be loved by someone. It's an original.
Maybe it was that. I don't know. But I'm going to be honest.
Dude, it's not unusual to throw a shrimp on the Barbie. It's not unusual to have snacks with anybody.
He's not from the West Indies, by the way. I think he's from Papua New Guinea.
Oh, my bad.
From Papua New Guinea?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I don't know.
I thought he was from fucking Malaysia.
Oh, no, I think he is from
Man
Malaysia.
of the world.
You're right. I think he is from Malaysia.
But, like, it's so
I do
weird.
understand why he's famous, though. Who else has that deep of a voice?
Yeah. No, he's
but if you heard him singing, his accent is different when he's singing.
Of course. Yeah. He likes Tom Jones. It's obvious.
But he's not that good of a singer. I listened to some of his old classic Kamal.
Not great?
I mean, look, man, he's pretty average.
He didn't make it onto what was his name again? Remember what was his name? The Greatest Hits CD that we found in the radio station.
He'd be there.
What was his name?
Those Were the Days by Ray Hadley.
Yeah.
Volume 2.
Can you believe
Can't fit them all on one CD.
Can you believe that guy is so... He's enough of a money-making machine that a huge major label like Sony goes, well, just stick your face going, yeah, on a CD with this Christmas tree behind it being like, those were the days. And just a greatest hits of like the shittest hits of the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Because
that's all that would have happened. Ray, do you like these songs? Most of them.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all that happened.
100%. 100%. That was it. Remember how much we laughed? We did a whole skit on it.
Yeah.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Unless you're one of these grabs from these inner shitty soylent. This is like the ad for it. Please take my hand.
We'll move away from this topic. Go on.
I just want to make this last point. I think that, really, if you were going to talk about the psychology of it, I honestly think that a lot of it is like, nah, and that's it. Because that's what people just pick, right? But if you really want to talk about the defeat of it, I think that if you look at it through the paradigm of everyone just voting in their own ego's interests, right? Now, obviously, there's a sliding scale. As I was saying before, there are just going to be some very, Mother Teresa types out there. Shut up, everyone on Reddit. Actually, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm talking about.
He's fighting with an imaginary Reddit now.
I know what they think now.
I mean, we should say there are obviously some people that they didn't just vote from. They thought it was a good thing to do. They didn't just vote from ego.
Yeah. But I would say that you can see from social media of the big yeses and the big nos. There was this thing of either the yeses being, I'm morally superior, and the big no's, I've unlocked this secret information that you don't. So it was either intellectual superiority or moral superiority.
Interesting.
And I think that, honestly, I've been thinking about the fact that I've been pitching for the last 10 years, the Labor Party is the way to go because it's in the national interest. No one gives a shit about the national interest. Everyone gives a fuck about their back pocket. I know that this is just a very basic point, but I think that every time that you're ever talking about something, you just got to think about the old radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me?
Live across the San Diego tri-state area.
Hosted by Jonesy and Amanda.
But wait a sec, they voted Labour in, so how can you say that there's no... I don't think they voted Labour in for purely selfish reasons, people.
I think that it was...
I don't know. I wonder how much of those stage 3 tax cuts allowed a lot of these big players.
Corporate.
Not even big players. Average Australians.
I don't think...
Average Australians that didn't want to get rid of negative gearing. Why? Because it's like, that's my tax cut. Fuck that. Yeah. That's my benefit. Everyone else, it's welfare. Yeah? You know, now when you see people just being like, unbelievable that Labor's not getting rid of negative gearing and capital gains tax. It's like, yeah, but if they get rid of it, then they'll get voted out. And then you don't have a national bushfire emergency response unit anymore. And you don't have proper economic management during some of the worst economic conditions that we've ever had. And you don't have entire healthcare systems getting rebuilt. But I want a house. Like, same thing. I want my holiday house to the other people. And then, 2016, what was it? They're going to get rid of my Medicare. As I once said to Ali, I swear this is how the average public thinks about things. They want free Medicare and they don't want to pay for it.
Is it too much to ask?
So I think that we just got to remember that going forward, that it's like, dude, this is in your interest. So asking that, being like, look, 2 to 3% of the population, they get this special voice of parliament. Don't you think in the back of your mind, the average voter's thinking, why the fuck do they get a special voice of parliament? Fuck them. Why do they get an in? I don't have any fucking ins to parliament.
Right.
No, fuck that. Don't you think that that's what's happening?
Probably, yeah. Probably.
And then when it comes to, I'm not putting yes voters in this, they are not. Some of them are, yes, and some no voters are very good moral people. Yes, I get it. But like that kind of swing area vote, the swing voter, I remember Bob Hawke did a great in-depth analysis of what the swing voter is, and it was amazing. They were just like, they have no allegiances, no concept of citizenship whatsoever. They just want free shit. That's all they fucking want. And so, as Neville Rand said, give the greedy bastards $1.
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying.
And also, like, with that cost of living crisis thing, like, don't you think that, like, with the vote of yes and no, it was just don't you think that it was like, basically the referendum question was, how are you going in life?
What do you mean?
Well, you see very similar results to how many people think cost of living is an issue, and it's off the scale. We have not seen numbers like this for any question. If you ask the public, what's your greatest concern, and it gets 30%, politicians flip over backwards going, shit, we've got to do something about this. Right. When it's hitting 60%, 70%, that is numbers you don't see. And that is numbers very similar to the no thing. And I think that it's just, there is a conflation between the two that definitely exists. And you see all the well-off suburbs going, what? I've got a dot painting in my house. I'm a very good person. Like that kind of voter there. Right. And then everyone else in Australia that's just trying to get fucking petrol in the fucking tank and being like, what?
So
special treatment? Fuck you.
So you're saying it's a class perspective of class.
Yeah, he's saying that if the answer to the question, how's your life going, is like, pretty good, actually.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Then you're going to vote yes.
Sorry,
but if your
gotcha,
question
gotcha.
is like,
it's
a bit tough. I'm like, I've missed my fucking payments for the mortgage.
Right.
You're going to vote no.
I understand, yeah.
It seems to be what's happening in the electorate.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, look, there's probably some truth to that. I don't know.
Okay, and lastly, if there's a federal election tomorrow, what's happening? Is Labour going to lose, as Peter Dutton might suggest?
No, they gain seats.
They'd gain seats,
Yeah.
even after losing.
The current projection is that they would
capital.
gain seats.
Yeah, it didn't hit that. It didn't hit that badly on Albo, I don't think, or Labour or anything like that.
No, they went down a couple of points in the polls, and I do think that that is definitely in response to The Voice. But you watch. They are about to unleash a huge decarbonisation program. Everyone's going to hate them. They're going to go further down in the polls. And then bushfire season will start. And then they'll be reminded, oh, that's why we voted in an actual government.
Thank God for bushfire season.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I'm scared about that. Yeah, I'm scared. But that's probably...
Apparently it's going to be horrible this time.
Really? Fuck.
Yeah.
I think that it won't be that bad.
Really?
There's nothing left to burn.
Have you heard of Bill Gates' new theory? He's saying that you should cut down trees and bury them underground.
What?
Somehow that has two effects. One, the distance between the trees increases, which means less bushfire. And two, for some reason, which I don't trust at all, buried trees hold more carbon than live ones, which there's like a lot of scientists have said like that's not true at all. But Bill Gates is putting millions of dollars into this theory.
He's had too much vaccine. That's right.
Rots your brain.
Have you heard of this before?
Anyway, there's a lot of misinformation.
You have to be careful.
Have you heard of this thing before? Burying trees to capture carbon?
That sounds...
Yeah, not burying trees, but I do understand the argument that...
What's the argument?
Big trees store carbon.
Yeah, but like live big trees would also store carbon.
Yeah, but I think that the argument... I don't think that this works out. I think it's because Bill Gates sees everything as a data point. Everything is just an Excel spreadsheet. Smaller trees absorb more carbon while they're growing. So make room for smaller trees, put the bigger trees in the ground. That's what he's thinking.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay. I mean, in that sense, yeah. But it's like...
Dude, if there was a referendum on Bill Gates, I'm voting no.
That was the referendum on Bill Gates.
What do you mean?
What?
I'm telling you, I reckon it's 20% of the population that are just off with the fairies.
Right.
And not just in the One Nation way, in the Greens way, but all those minor party voters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I'll pay that.
Damn.
Get off the internet.
All right.
Except this site.
Miss, shall we move on to the Reddit stories, or is there a little addendum that you want to add?
Oh, yeah. How's your leg, man?
How's your leg?
Let's just do this story. My own little unintentional misadventure. So, had a little fall yesterday.
Cramps.
We're not getting any younger. Basically was going to pop over to a friend's, kind of as an instinct. I'm like, I was like, oh, I got to go for a ride. And stupidly decided to ride in the rain on those white lines because, you know, when it's not raining, I'm like, yay. As you said, it's exactly that. I'm on that special rainbow road level of Mario Kart. It's like my little game. I'm like, yay. I think I just did it subconsciously. But I was riding...
You'll always find the easiest way to do anything.
What do you mean? Funnest.
It's just like,
funnest.
Hey, there's no grip. I can go faster.
It's either that or fun. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? But like... So I was fucking going down. I wasn't even going down. I had you know, gone down a hill, going up, but I was fast because I'm on this fucking racing bike. And this is at like 10 o'clock at night. No one's around. I'm on the thing, this line, and then the bike just gives way. It's just gone. It's just like I was on ice, just on ice. And it just went, and it just flew out from me. And there was just that 1 second moment. You know that moment? Oh, you probably don't, but like that moment where you're just like, this is going to hurt. that just happened. I'm like, this is gonna fucking hurt.
That happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So your
happens.
life flashed before your eyes.
No,
Your
my
dad washing your tiny little penis in this fish and being like,
Hey.
good boy, very strong penis. And then you
Small
getting a
penis
little
to
bit
small
older
fish.
and then just being like, oh, it came too quick. And then now just being like, yeah, send in another one. And then you just thinking, I've had a good run.
Yes, that's exactly how it happened. But no, you just have this moment where you see what's happening and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
and
it
you have
does
to-
happen.
Yeah, and you have to prepare yourself. And I ate shit. I slammed into the ground and I smashed into a car. I went on the fucking road and then just smashed into a car. And these two...
Was it an expensive car?
It was an average car, you know.
You did smash into someone else's car.
I did.
Yeah,
I
you're
did.
the guy that committed suicide in the hospital and crushed Costanza's new car.
It's a perfect spot. Look at him go.
It'd be so good if there
Wait,
was
so
like a
who-
very neurotic Jewish man that saw that was like, good, versatile crap.
I honestly would have
Do you
loved
have
that.
to pay for
First
that,
all the
though?
news from the Middle East and now this.
I didn't look at the car because it hurt so much. Like two lovely Colombian people saw and was just like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was just like, "Ow!" Apparently, when I fell off the bike, I just went, "Fuck!" And I just yelled "fuck" until I hit the fuck. I was like, I was just like, ah. And then they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was just like, "Ow!" Like it really hurt. And I fucked my back, so like I was just like I can't move, and I just waddled over to the sidewalk and lay on the grass. And then, you'll probably enjoy this part of the story. They're like, "Did you have any water?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've got a water bottle here." And they're like, "We'll use it to clean the wound." I forgot it was cordial water.
Well, it
What
could
are
have
you,
been worse.
5?
It could have been.
Why do you have coddies?
Because you need sugars when you're exercising. That's why.
Powerade, not... Dude, that is a formula specifically designed for fat children.
So they washed
Hey, he's
my...
lucky. It could have been his piss bottle. You
Yeah,
never know.
exactly. Be
We
thankful.
should have been thankful. It could have been worse.
So these lovely Colombians were like, because I was
Putting
lying.
sugar on your wounds.
Yeah, putting sugar in my wounds. Hey, they are Colombian. So I was lying down, and they were just ripped it. Like I'd ripped open my pants. I got like some grazes and shit on me, but like my back was fucked. I was like, it really hurts. And this was killing me. And then there was one of those things where they were just like opened it, and I looked, and I was like, that's not good, and lay back down because I just saw
You passed out.
Yeah, I basically passed out. I just saw blood pumping out, and I was just like, I'm not good with blood either, so I was just like, I'm going to lay back down. More cordial, please. And anyway, basically, long story short, they were like,
the coddies.
it fucking hurt. They got some antiseptic from somewhere and then put it, and then they're just like, I think you need to go to hospital. So I went to hospital. And yeah, I was telling Ali, I literally came in and there was some other guy who was an Uber driver with his other knee fucked. Who was like, motorbike, and I was like, it was like bicycle, and it's like, same thing happened to me. He had his fucked knee as well. We sat next to each other. Anyway,
The Uber driver wing.
yeah. Seriously, that was brutal though, because he was just like, I lost 17 backs, and I was like, did you at least eat the pizza that you squashed? He was just like, no. I'm like, it's crazy, but like,
I've got some cordial if you'd like.
but basically, they gave me a tetanus shot because I hadn't had one of those, and then they gave me some endone, which was fun.
Hey, tetanus shot. You don't have rabies.
Well,
Nah, it's like a thing that they do for abrasion on concrete.
yeah,
Really?
yeah, I hadn't had one for like 5 years, so it was like, yeah, you need one. So they did that. Then they took my blood. So if you fucking hit a car, they legally have to take your blood to prove that you don't have alcohol in you.
Oh.
And you failed.
Miserable.
Listen, this time amazingly was clear. I did not drink anything that day or night, so I was
Wait,
totally
so what
fine.
happens with
Nah,
the damages?
recount. Come on, bring inches into price. We
Yeah.
need another- Nah, I don't buy
Second
it.
opinion,
Yeah.
fair. Look, I think the car was fine. I haven't looked at it. Frankly, I was
So
just
they're
like,
not like, because you don't have insurance
I
on
like
the.
how this. He says like he's mangled himself, and Ali's response is, "How's the car?"
I know.
No,
Thanks,
I'm
bro.
like, I'm wondering who's like, if the car is damaged,
It's fine.
So am I, to be honest.
Technically, you're supposed to pay for the repairs.
Listen, if you're watching, this is all jocular. It's a satire, whoever's car that is. I think it was fine. I think.
Wait, so did you even speak to the guy whose car
it was parked?
Oh, so you just bounced.
I smashed into a parked car.
That's a crash and run.
Yeah, bro. Fuck the car. Fuck. I think the car was.
The important thing is no one was.
You guys are cunts.
Hey, speaking of cunts, Ali, can you get on that song, I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt?
Why?
Because I think that we should, just because I don't think that people see how difficult it is for Mislav to work.
You want me to
I think that
walk?
we need a cripple catwalk.
Let's do it. But I'll do it. But long story short, I didn't think I'd broken anything, which is true. But I fucked my knee, so I got stitches in my knee. And my back is fucked too, but like nothing, no spinal injury, thank fuck. And I had a helmet on, so it's like it's all good. But like my back
with his hat underneath.
Yeah, apparently that's not good. But my back is like fuck. Like I've just really pulled it really bad. So, but look, best from a bad situation. Wait, do you want me to do a walk?
Yeah, you got it up, Ali.
Tell me when to leave.
Wait. Start moving when you're playing.
This is definitely gonna get copyrighted, but let's do it anyways.
Yeah, it's worth it. Ask me the babe.
Well, you want to push?
It's such a good song. I forgot about this.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy.
And here we have the latest from Croatia, straight from Europe, 1 month tour.
You're not in the frame anymore. Yeah.
Look at him go.
Hey, what are you doing?
Just because he's crippled doesn't mean he can't be stylish.
Too sexy for your party. Too sexy for your party. No way I'm disco dancing. I'm a model. You know what I mean?
All I'm trying to point out is it takes him like 10 minutes to reach the bathroom now.
On the catwalk. On the catwalk.
Good job, miss.
Well done, Miss.
Thanks for that.
Thanks for hurting
theatric
yourself for our
performance.
amusement.
Okay, that's all part of the deal. But nevertheless, I feel like a fucking idiot. I was incredibly embarrassed, and also I did have this realization too. Like, I'm in there, it took a few hours, but they've given me endone. It's the best of a bad situation, no break. But like they've given me endone. They're all like being really nice. They gave me a wheelchair. They stitched me up. And I'm just sitting there just thinking about the Israel-Palestine conflict and these poor kids that like don't have a bed. And I'm just like, this is fucked. I'm getting this like VIP treatment. They're like, look, it's close. You've gotten it down to the bone, but there's nothing there. We're going to be doubly sure and stitch it up. Here, do you want another endone? I'm like, just send the endone to Gaza. It's one pill.
No, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
And it'll just get barricaded anyway.
There's a
I
heroin problem
Really?
in Gaza.
Oh, really?
No, I'm not saying that. If you keep sending them endones.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing thinking that in Gaza right now there is a Mislav, while all of these things are getting
No,
bombed,
dude,
but
in
someone
Gaza-
in a bike has just smacked into a
No,
car and been
Mislav
like, "Hello, I need medical attention."
Oh, probably. And he's not getting it.
he's not getting
You know what my dad said, by the way? My dad, I go, fuck, I had a bit of a fall on the bike. And I showed him the photo of my like bloody leg. And he goes, actually, should I read it out? It's funny. It's funny. This is classic dad.
I just wish his phone was over there so you had to go walk 20
Put the
minutes
music back on.
later.
This is gonna take a while.
So dad goes, how good's this? Yeah, I showed him that photo of my bloody leg, and he goes, yes, wet is not good. Nothing broken, I hope. Wash the wound with mild soap, and if you get aloe vera plant, it will heal overnight. If not,
Are you kidding?
If not, use some of that rakia, which is Croatian firewater alcohol, as disinfection after you wash wounds ASAP.
Dude, is your dad a hunter-gatherer? Is that what's happening? He's just like, oh, cancer, I see.
then-
You must go out and look for the sparkling flower.
Yeah.
If
Listen
you
to
get a
this.
red one, you will heal overnight.
And then listen to this. I said, Dad, I'm in hospital. I need stitches. And he said, so bad. Which hospital? Can I help? Although going to work soon. But happened last night. You went to hospital last night? Might be worse. Sure helmet saved your head. Thanks, Dad. Like,
Wow, you got to say he's optimistic.
Yeah,
not knowing many of the circumstances.
he said to go home and put aloe vera on a gaping wound where my bone was sticking in. And alcohol. Do you know how much that would have fucking hurt?
Yeah, but do you want to cure it overnight or not?
He's still got that fucking Soviet shit in him, you know? Like, it's just like, put alcohol in it, go to sleep. It's like, it's great. So that was...
Yeah, look, at least you got a second opinion.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, shout out to RPA, all the people. And yeah, I felt like very, very, very embarrassed and like ashamed to be taking up resources when you're watching the news, just being like kids with their legs blown off. And I'm there being like, can I have another endone? So that was my...
Can you turn up the cricket? No, I'm suffering.
Yeah. So
I missed. That was very, very
Oh,
tragic.
please.
But also, we have to move on because it's a bit of a drag now, Miss.
Oh, sorry. What do you mean it's a drag?
Well, as
Your
you realise, you're killing the vibe, first off.
Sorry.
And also on top of that, other people are suffering.
Who? You?
People on Ask Reddit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, of course.
The real victims.
So welcome to our Reddit stories, back on popular demand. And when I say popular, I mean Jordan.
Yeah. Jordan loves
Thank
it.
you.
I will have to pee later, so you might get some more cripple action.
Sick. Thanks for giving us the heads up. All right, so which one are we going for? Are we going for the OP or are we going for the top comment?
The one like the top comment, the roommate one.
Okay. The question is embarrassing sex stories. Let's hear them. Better steal that one for Jordan Shanks. And it comes from, how appropriate for this episode, the voice of experience.
Oh, there you go.
Is the poster. And they said, in college, I had the best kind of roommate situation. I shared a bathroom with one other guy. Wow. I'm pretty sure people in Gaza have better conditions than that. But and we actually had separate rooms on either side of the bathroom. With that kind of privacy, I could have a lot of loud sex. I don't know if you can. I mean, you physically can. But I think they heard.
A lot of loud sex.
One night I was sitting on the edge of my bed with my girlfriend straddling me. It was that great kind of loud, dirty talking sex.
Yeah,
and
right.
I started to spank her ass as she rode me. Well, that's very, what else do you spank? But all right.
Yeah, that's true.
Get to the point. This is a problem with all these posters. She loved it, kept asking for more, so I spanked her harder. And as we got more into it, we got a lot of energy going. And I was smacking her ass pretty damn hard until I spanked out of sync with her movement. Had my hand swing down as her ass moved up, and I ended up missing entirely and smacking myself in the balls.
Oh, that would fucking suck.
And
That
having
would suck.
a fully grown human being on your cock at the same time.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been.
Surprised it didn't
I
snap
mean, I'm
off.
sure he's pulled out at this point.
No, I don't think so.
I doubled. Oh no, Ali's right. I doubled over and yeah, there you go. Who'd have thought?
Well, I said he pulled out.
Fell off
he
the
pulled
bed.
out after.
Curled up on the floor.
Oh,
Damn, chucked a Mislav when he got smacked into the car. Blinded by the sudden pain.
Too soon.
My girlfriend had no idea what to do and thought maybe a cold washcloth would help. So she ran to the bathroom, threw open the door to find my roommate pants around his ankle, dick in hand.
What? Wait. His housemate saw him do that? Or I don't understand.
So she saw. She was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And then opened it up. And then while they were having loud sex,
He was wanking
to it.
No.
See, I told you were wrong about this. You can't have loud sex and him not here.
Ultimate privacy.
Fuck. Fuck, he was in front of their door.
Yeah, he's just sitting on the toilet going, "Yeah, nice. Good on you, Rex. Give her one for me."
Oh,
Holy shit, what a cock.
By definition.
My girlfriend had no idea what to do and thought maybe a cold washcloth. Oh, no, sorry. To find my roommate his pants, there was an eternity of stunned silence as no one knew what to do or say. She slammed the door shut again. And that was the last time I saw my roommate that year.
Ooh, that's. I mean, I don't. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
That's an unfortunate situation for everyone.
Yeah, I can't really blame him.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't really jerk off to your roommate having sex.
No.
So you can't blame him a little bit.
No. Yeah, no, you're right.
Come on, in the comments, has anyone else done it? Has anyone else ever heard their roommate and been like, well, you know, this is easier than opening up my laptop?
Shit.
Minimum movement required.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, that was a great story.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Make sure that you tune in next week. Well, there'll be more.
Pass me the laptop. There's more segments there. Oh, that reminds
there's more
me.
segments. But in the meantime, Miss, it's time for your real misadventure.
Oh,
before you were rudely interrupted by becoming disabled.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be great to see Mislav on a billboard for the NDIS next week?
Thanks to the NDIS, I can not have the pizza anyway, but it's sick not having to pay for it.
Hell yeah. That'd be sick. No, to the real stuff.
Let me play something before. I have to play something before we do that.
Okay.
Do it.
Do it.
While he's getting that up, if you listen to the Up Late podcast, that's what we're doing. I mean, if we're already hitting on copyright, why not?
Yeah.
No, apparently there was no copyright on it. Oh no, that was the upload, so maybe it was. I don't know. We'll find
because
out.
who's watching this other than this guy?
Nobody.
You heard this song a lot this week, Miss?
Oh, yes.
Did you like it more or less?
For those of you who don't know what's happening, Lost Up Late, we were, for some reason, Jordan was fascinated by Melrose Place.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, like, the show, and we realized none of us have seen it. So Mislav's misadventure was go and watch all of Melrose Place by next week.
Yeah.
And so now he's back with
a lot of homework.
I think I watched a whole season.
And he broke his leg. Excuses. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. I can't watch laptop in bed with this. So, all right, look. Let's just start with the pro. There's pros and cons. There's a lot less pros, so let's start with those.
I'm so happy we're having this review 30 years too.
There's pros and cons. Let's start with the pros because there's a lot less.
Hang on, before anyone goes, just so you know what 90210 is, right?
I mean,
I realize that most of you are Zoomers.
Yeah.
And
They don't know
is it a
shit.
postcode? Yes, it is.
yeah.
It is a postcode. It was just about sexy young teens in hot downtown LA.
Yeah.
And then after that was a show called Melrose Place that I had no idea was about. I thought it was about an old woman that solved murder mysteries.
Melrose, that's good.
Like, I knew it was a TV show, but that's all I knew about it.
Yeah.
I'd never watched it before, but it was just there. And then in an episode of Seinfeld, there's an episode that's the center of it. And so I said, Miss, you're going to have to do it for me.
Yeah.
You know, what am I paying you for?
Yeah, exactly.
So what are the pros?
All right, the pros, they're limited, but I'd say the pros are the nostalgia factor. There is a nostalgia factor.
Well, just the fact that they have curly mullets.
Yeah, and the innocence of it, like, it's very nostalgic. And also,
They're still proudly drinking that beer, Bud Light.
they're proudly white. Yeah.
Proudly white, drinking Bud Light.
Was there any ethnic character?
There's one black girl.
Well,
Yeah, the quota box checks out.
Yeah.
There was
well,
no
that was the
quarter box
90s.
at the time.
No, there was. That was it. One black person.
Oh, there was.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but they had to die early.
Oh, well, she's still alive. But
But here's something else. This is something that no one talks about with their quotas. What happened to hot people in shows? Everyone's ugly now.
that seems to be the new.
man.
That's the new cross section of humans. It's a good time to be ugly.
Yeah. And it should never be a good time to be ugly. What about all the hot people?
I mean, at least in shows or some.
Where are they going?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're
I
all
feel so
Only
sorry.
fans.
because-
Only fans now. That's it. That's all they have.
Oh, it's so tragic because I feel like that's just something that should be of television, regardless of your race, but you should be
Attractive.
way more attractive than
Even
the average
A-listers
person.
are ugly. Look at Margot Robbie. She's a mid.
The mid fucking idiot.
And the thing is, come on,
Idiots.
put her up next to the Melrose Place class. She's a mid. She's a mid.
She's not, but they
Come
are.
on,
They're hot. They're hot.
The guy's unimaginably hot too, yeah?
I mean, you know, it's that classic thing of like a 41-year-old being like, Cindy, I've got to graduate high school, okay? Like, it's pretty ridiculous.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it like Neighbors?
No, it's
sexy?
way worse.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it's so bad. But like the positives are that they
Nostalgia.
the nostalgia. They filmed it on film, so the long shots and stuff.
Oh my god, here we go. Tarantino's review.
Yeah.
What?
It was on 9mm. In fact, it was quite out of the ordinary. 8mm was
I
the
wish
norm at the time.
I wish I had that kind of information, and there's no jokes about that. I wish I knew that, but
No, but I've also got to say, we picked the right horse for once. You know, if you want someone to review 90s television, look no further.
so the long shots, you know, and all of it, it's grainy. Looks like Twin Peaks. On camera, it looks like revolutionary like artistic, weird, like Twin Peaks, which is great. So that was cool. That's pretty much where the positives stop. This is a show that is like has not aged well. First of all,
Why?
it is an attempt at like a teen drama. And none of them are teenagers, but like a drama set in like they all live. There's so many problems with it. They all live in this complex in LA.
In Melrose Place.
In Melrose Place. Doesn't explain any of this, by the way. Just starts off being like, my rent's late. And like they
Episode 1.
seriously, the pilot. There was a pilot.
How has that not aged well?
And basically
Was Albo their prime minister too?
basically they all seem to be able to get by living in a mansion. One's an actress, one works in a cafe. There's a couple that are like married for some reason. And they all have a pool that they all swim in that I imagine they would have to clean. I don't think they clean it. I don't understand how the pool keeps clean. But they all, there's like 15 of them. It doesn't establish if they're mates or not. They just live there.
Is it an apartment complex or a mansion?
It's like an apartment, but it's like it's like now you'd be like, whoa, nice. You know, it's like a nice apartment complex. Like not even an apartment. It's like, it's like a
Townhouses?
townhouse thing. Yeah. And it's okay. It's badly acted. The stories are just woefully like unoriginal and just tropes of like Hollywood bullshit.
Like
The girl. It starts with this is how the show starts. She's like, Cindy's gone. She took all her stuff and now I can't afford rent next week. And then this other guy's like, well, you better find out a way. And then, and then she's like, I'm not going to be able to. And some of the lines are ridiculous. It's just like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to in my life. And then she goes like, maybe you should go down to LAER and give your kidney away. Then you'll see some real struggles. And then she's like, that was mean, Corey. And she's like, no, he's right. I've got to get a grip. And like, what does she do? She has to get a job. And then straight away, some like young hunk moves in and they're like friends. And then all of a sudden they start introducing like 15 other storylines in the same pilot of like, there's a married couple that are like, they love each other, but she's pregnant. She didn't tell him. There's a black chick that runs an exercise. She's an exercise instructor or something. And then there's like random guys. And there's like the bad boy who never finished high school. And it's just, and it's
That's
so,
it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't have a job or anything.
No, it doesn't even say how he pays rent. And the acting,
How does the guy that doesn't finish high school live in a mansion?
I don't know. And the acting
The
is,
only thing that man does is not completing high school.
yeah.
What a
And
character.
Dude, the acting is so bad that it's literally sort of like, yeah, push him in the pool. And then it's just like, it goes in the pool and it's just kind of like, guys. And they're like, yeah, that. And like, it's just fucking, it's so hard to watch. I couldn't even tell you. I know Allison is one of the girls' names. The rest I forget because it's so forgettable. It's like the people acting aren't, you can tell that they were going week to week and just being like, you know, it was a time in that period of time where like it could be shit. There was nothing else to watch. So like bad acting, cheaply made, bad sets. Like there's 2 sets. There's like there, and then there's interior shots in like a pub or whatever, and they're like walking around. And yeah, it's like abortion is one. Just you could just like make up a story now, and I bet it'll be in there. Just off the top of your head, someone's like teen drama, some storyline. I guarantee it'll be in it.
Estranged father comes to visit.
Yep, that is in it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. The girl's new housemate is like, my father's coming back to town. Can you pretend to be my girlfriend? And then like,
wow.
You know what was cool in that episode? Yeah. Jerry's mum's in it.
Jerry Seinfeld.
What's she doing there?
I don't know, but she's an extra. She's like, I want to buy a couch because one of the guys, it's like, my dad wants me to be a couch salesman, and she's like, maybe you should try it. And she's like, this boy's very rude. And then he's just this coming of age shit, being like, Dad, I think I have to live my own life. And he's like, but it's so hard being a writer. What if you fail? He's like, that's for me to experience. I love you, Dad, but maybe I shouldn't be a furniture salesman. And he's like, I love you too, son. And that kind of shit. And then there's like the black girl like wants to be a dancer. This is the story arcs. Ooh, there's a problem. She wanted to be a dancer. And then, she did the dance audition and passed. She proved herself, but she decided she didn't want it after all. So she's going to keep doing her own life. She's happy. And then an actress is like, I had the part, but they asked me to take my blouse off, and I just realized I couldn't do it. But you were all here to support me, and that's the most important thing. All roads lead back to us swimming in a pool at the end of every episode. And at the beginning, it was unwatchable, but like every show, I was like, this is so bad. But like, I kind of was like, let's see how fucking dumb this is. Let's just see. And it gets just dumber and dumber, and it's so slow, dude. It's like, it takes 20 minutes. It takes 20 minutes for this girl to be like, I just think it it takes like 20 minutes being like, can you teach me how to, I want to do my SAEs again and graduate high school. And it takes like 20 minutes for them to like be like, talk about it. And they're like, it's so predictable. It's like, okay, yeah, they're just going to make out. And then they'll be like, are we friends or are we dating? And that happens.
Confusing.
Yeah. And then someone else comes in and there's a Southern girl for some reason. It's like, I'm an actress. And
well, it's LA.
Yeah. It's just like, it's so POV, and the acting is so bad. Yeah, dude. You should watch
all of season 1. Yeah.
I think it was all season 1.
Why
I think it was 7 episodes.
I thought like Melrose Place is like a rich people area.
No, he's talking about the production.
The way they make, and they say shit like, get a grip, and then they're like, ooh, burn. And they say
maybe like, because like you only saw the first season. Yeah, and, like they were poor.
Is there comical moments
like
that take some levity into their otherwise troubling times?
Not really. No, it's all
bad.
It's very corporate. Very like written by like Melrose Place, brought to you by the NRA. It's very like corporate and just sort of like, whatever you think is good for you is good. And then like there's one scene where like this guy's like, she's like, it's you know what it's like, dude? The Room.
Wow.
It's like The Room. There's so many moments like this is The Room.
Wow.
Like there's a scene where she's
I gotta watch this.
Yeah, you'll love it. There's a scene where it's like, he's like, hey, come back here. It's like this girl, this is what she does. This is what this girl does.
Yeah.
She has a scam going.
Ooh.
Where she paints her own paintings, then sells them to rich people saying that they're Picassos. And it's like, it's a great grift I've got going. People don't even know. I just say it's from a famous artist. I'll say you're a famous artist, and then we'll get rich. And then like,
that is a pretty genius move.
And it works out. But then of course it all goes down where she's just like, he's like, I should have known. Is that coke? And she was like, yeah. You want a line? He's like, I don't do that stuff anymore. And then she's just like, blah, 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 talking. And she's just like, here, just have a line. He goes, no, and whacks away the plate. And she's just like, what are you doing? No. Like, this is too kind. I'm like acting better than her. And she's like, I can't believe it. Just get out of here. And then he leaves and he's just like, it's a fake, okay? You want the painting? Here, have it. And it's like, like, ooh, coke. Like, just have a line, you bitch. You can just have like 2 lines. It's not going to ruin your life. You don't have a job. You live in a...
this is the GED guy.
And he's like 40 in real life. You can see it's like you're a old man. You haven't not finished high school.
How are you still hung up about that?
And he's just like,
that was like 22 years ago.
yeah. And he's like, I don't do that stuff anymore. And it's like, yeah, maybe that's why you're a loser.
And also, let's be honest.
Do the
come on,
line.
you're an actor in Melrose Place. You do it.
You do the line. Like
do it.
it took every ounce of his acting ability to whack the plate. It's like
even though it was fake. Coke,
yeah. And
probably can get a budget out of it.
that was it, man. Like, there's no nudity or anything. Like, and it's just,
Very
it's just,
disappointing.
and dude, characters just come and go. No story arc. Like, it'll be like, this is like, this is like, it's like, who are you? And he's like, hey, I'm Tim. And then this guy's obviously in his 30s as well. And then she's just like, Tim, what do you think about unrequited love in the big city? And he's like, I don't know. I'm still in high school. And she's like, like it's just so it's just ridiculous. But you know what? It's kind of cool to see how people spoke or how people thought people spoke in the 90s, because it literally is these lines of like, just like, grow up, and then it's like,
Talk
boom,
to the
that's
hand.
it.
Is that
Talk
one?
to the hand,
Yeah.
grow up, like
Get a life.
like you're a sleaze
You
ball.
wish.
Yeah, you're a
In your dreams.
Yeah, in your dreams, the big one, sleaze bag. But like, I don't think so, sleaze bag. And then he's just like, like it's so fucked.
Thank you, Miss.
So that's it.
Thank you for your misadventure.
No, thank you so much, Miss. You really did a service.
I'll
to all of us
keep what, and I can keep what. Oh yeah.
do a little walk.
I mean, I do have to pee.
Oh, we're going, are we?
No, we're not going. We're not going.
okay.
We're not going.
Oh,
Hey,
but I
before
just got to say, before you do go, Miss, guys, in the comments, is there any more 90s smash hits that Miss Love should watch? Because it was like, now that I think about it, I watched an episode of Baywatch once.
Similar
When I
vibe.
was at like, I could not get over how slow the show is.
Dude, the pacing is unbearable. In the age of the internet, this show would just tank because the episodes are like an hour long. Nothing happens. Like, I'm not going to lie. By the end, I was like skipping parts, and it was being like, so I heard that you and Cindy have been fighting. And then I'm like, see where this is going. Skip 15 minutes. It's like, well, if you love her, just tell her. Like, this is not like so predictable. It's just like, I know exactly where everything is going.
But do you think that it's because Melrose Place was such a classic that it just set the mold for a television drama?
Nah,
And it's-
dude, it was that there was nothing on TV. Seinfeld was a revolution. There was nothing on, and that was the best they could get. That was it. It was dog shit.
Isn't that incredible?
Mixed
that there
with The
was
Room.
30 million people sitting at home.
I can't believe
I wonder
that.
what Luke's up to this
I
week.
can't believe it. It's like, which one's Luke again? It's like 15
None
of
of
them.
those 30 million people knew.
Dude, there's like 8 men and like 8 women. And they just live in this thing. And like,
the chick from Desperate Housewives is in it, right?
I'm
like
not.
Big Brother.
She comes later. This is the first season.
Oh, dude, maybe it's got the Big Brother vibe.
I'll keep watching
Yeah.
it. I'll go to season
It's
2.
Big Brother. I think this was it. I think in the 2000s,
Yeah.
television producers realized, hang on a second, people just talking normally, more stuff happens.
Exactly.
And when we pay writers and
Yeah,
producers
yeah.
and actors,
Writers.
it's way cheaper.
Way
Yeah.
cheaper. Like, dude, the writing is just but also the writing could have been carried by some acting. But the acting is just unbelievable. Like, it's The Room. Like, there was a scene where that guy's just like, I'm selling my motorbike. And she's like, but you love that thing. And he's like, I got to pay the rent. And he goes over there and he's just like, do you want this bike? He's like, great bike. And he's like, he's like, can't take it though. I've already got 4 on the lot. And he's like, whatever. And then he's just like, tell you what though, if you can tell me who put this bike together, tell him to come here and get a job. And the guy's like, and he's like, because whoever put this bike together, this is a stranger. This is how he's talking. Because whoever put this bike together is a real artist. And then he's like, and then he goes,
He did not do the
yeah, real artist. And then he goes like, and he's like, tell him to come in. And he's like, you're looking at him. And he's just like, and he goes, when can he start? That's a scene.
It's a good scene.
Well, I wanted to know how
But
that ended.
the acting that's the end of the scene. But the acting is so bad. Like, what was a good actor for the, I suppose, the 90s or that? Like, it's just like, it's the Room. It's like, hi Dougie. Oh, hi Mark. Like it's it's just incredible.
Because there was something about watching The Room and you realise, no, this isn't that far away from Home and Away.
Exactly. That's it. I think
Soap operas, a good soap opera and a bad soap opera. Is there a difference?
he definitely watched Melrose Place and was like, I can do that.
Yeah, and he can.
And he can.
Better.
Well, way better.
The only difference is
there's not much
he's
difference.
a skeletally ugly man.
yeah. Yeah. And like the girls in the show are hot, but like hot in a very like,
90s way.
90s way. Like, yeah.
That's the best way.
Yeah, they were hot.
Mom jeans when they were considered to be hot.
Look, you know what? They were hot, but like again, because of the internet, I'm like, take off your shirt. You know, I'm like, come on.
You're like OnlyFans.
Well, I guess that explains why they have ugly people now.
Why?
Because they can act.
I don't, yeah.
Well,
Maybe that's it.
It's just TV's gotten
Okay,
so much better.
Changing
but
gears, we're almost running out of time, miss. So there's 10 more minutes.
yeah, and I'll keep watching because I want to
wanna-
see if it gets better.
It's amazing shit. He got it for 20 minutes and he's hooked. He wants to know the
I just want to see I just want to see if Billy got the job.
Well, I'm happy to get a 20-minute debrief of every season of Melrose Place. If you are, let us know.
Yeah, let us
Be
know.
like,
Let us know.
Otherwise, we'll put it in the up late.
Shakespeare Cliff Notes for Dummies.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Melrose.
yeah, exactly.
do it.
Melrose
Yeah.
Place in 20 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, one day it will be a classic. So get the Spark notes for the HSC up on
Yeah.
the board.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to show you guys a picture. So you know how in New Zealand there were elections and the Liberals, which is their national party, won?
Really? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they beat the Labour. Okay, to celebrate, because, the National Party's color is blue because they're boys.
Right.
And the Labour Party is red because they're
commies.
Yeah,
Come.
commies.
So the ex-prime minister of the National Party,
What is
to
that?
celebrate the election victory, had blue sausages.
Yuck. Yuck.
And so folks,
Jesus, Eiffel 65 didn't go that far.
so folks are wondering if they made a bad decision with electing them in. Have you?
Well, because of the snags.
I mean, look, man.
They did
What
the
I
same with
what I
Shorten.
wanted to bring up is usually these sort of things are precursors. Does that mean the era of Democrats and Labor is over? Does that
Nah.
mean the Conservatives are going to win here and in the U.S.?
Not here.
Because New Zealand is a precursor to what, I don't know, the general population thinks?
Not here. US, probably.
Labor got 2 terms, which I think is spectacular for the Labor Party in New
Bro,
Zealand.
they
isn't
won
it?
on Law and Order.
Yeah.
The Nationals in New Zealand won on Law and Order.
I'm really worried about that. I think that the argument that you need to make, Queenslanders, to your relatives is look at the graph. Both youth crime and crime in general are consistently going down. They were not under the LNP, and all the LNP want to do is get rid of a bunch of proven successful programs.
Right.
That's
What do
it.
you have to say to all the comrades in New Zealand who've just lost?
Comrades.
I don't know anything about them. I barely know New Zealand exists.
Well, look, I there was a few.
All of us are like
I'll
that.
give you like the 3 main election issues that they had. One was Law and Order, which I guess you've sort of discussed. The other was the whole. There was Labour Party over there said that there was a massive disinformation campaign, which I feel like is happening
we go.
everywhere now.
Yep.
How do we deal with this disinformation
Yeah, that's the question.
epidemic?
Make your own disinformation.
Fuck. That's
Beat fire with fire?
I think that's pretty much all you have to do. You just have to get down and dirty.
But
Really?
eye for an eye will make the whole world blind.
Yes, assalamu
Yeah.
alaikum, brother.
This
Assalamu
is
alaikum.
Gandhi.
Yeah.
But in the world of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And one-eyed is a reference for somebody who is extremely biased.
The Joe.
yeah.
So all I'm saying, man, is, look, I think that this is the world that we live in now. And I think that you just have to, when you are arguing with people about Agenda 21 and all of that stuff,
What's that?
I don't know, just whatever conspiracy weird
Right.
theory they have in their head. I think you could just say, like, yeah, fuck them. But, like, the National Party's in on it too. They own the whole government. They're all corrupt, aren't they? But do you want, like, a hospital that works?
Yeah.
I mean, a hospital that works can still work in this dystopian global government prison planet.
Yeah.
They'll still have those.
That's kind
Just
of
like
like
a gas.
That's kind of like me and like Labor. I'm kind of like I don't agree with a lot of what they say, but I just know that they're doing the right thing, so I vote for them.
Yeah, I think that that's what you need to get out.
Yeah.
And I also think that a lot of it has to do with the vibe of the leader. And I think that we're pretty safe with Anthony Albanese. I think that people generally like his vibe.
Yeah.
Jacinta went from being really popular to being really unpopular.
Why?
Before
I think
she
this is
resigned.
because she was a global celebrity.
Yeah.
Just because
She
she
became
became Stephen
too-
Colbert
Tall
every
Poppy?
second night.
Tall
She was like
Poppy?
the fill-in guest for him.
Tall Poppy.
Tall Poppy. And also she seemed it as well. She seemed like one of those kind of, you know, I'm better than you because I've got bigger teeth.
Why am I better than you? Because my teeth suck.
No, because
Bigger,
they're huge.
bigger.
Yeah,
Bigger.
they're massive. Anyway,
It's like,
if
are
you're
you the Prime Minister or are you advertising White Glow? What's
So
happening?
who is the new Prime Minister of New Zealand?
oh, dude, it's funny. He's like this business guy.
He's not the Maori guy.
He's not. He's the ex CEO of Air New Zealand.
oh,
Yeah.
no.
So he knows how to get things done.
So there, Alan
Get from
Joyce
point A to
won
point B.
the elections.
What? What is he? Does he have any credentials?
No, apparently he joined politics in 2020, and in 2021 they requested him to be the leader. There's 5 people there, bro. So
Yeah. He
so-
must be a huge celebrity.
So
over there.
practically, is their Liberal Party going to be the same as ours here?
pretty much.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty
So
much.
they're not more left?
Well, no, they also
they're-
might have to be as well because it's a smaller population. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think like usually, you know how in Australia the Liberal Party basically controls the government de facto, and then there's periods when Labor gets in. I think it's the opposite over there, where
Really?
Labor controls it de
Right.
facto. Because even if you look at their huge election win now, they won 50 seats. Labor had 60 before, and they were considered to be like a weak government.
Right.
There you go.
Clearly, I think Labor usually wins. But if you're from New Zealand and you
Give
have
us a
some,
brief rundown.
yeah, give us a brief rundown in the comment section. Tell us beyond the headlines what the real issues were. What's the inner workings?
And also, who is the de facto government? I thought it was the Nationals.
yeah, I thought so.
What?
I don't know. Just looking at the numbers, I'm
What,
basing it on
here?
that.
Huh?
Here?
No. In New
No,
Zealand.
in New Zealand.
No, there's no way. They're
Isn't it amazing? They're so parochial that their Liberal Party is the National Party.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a
They
national
didn't have.
party.
They don't have a Liberal Party. Their Liberal Party is the National Party.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'm sure there's a
interesting.
national, like there's some other national equivalent party too, but their Liberal Party is called the National Party.
And what are all these other ones like? New Zealand First,
Yeah.
ACE Party, Choice Party,
Green Party,
Esky, Chilibin Party.
Maori
Liberation
There's
Party.
some like big word for it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we're out of time now. That's it.
Thank you so much for your time.
Do you want to play us out with that?
Why not? More copyright. Sure. What Melrose play?
Yeah.
Yeah. Milrose Plate.
Fuck. So much swimming in the pool.
Well, I'd really like to know if there is any other 90s hits that we should give him.
there might be
Maybe
some
you have a
other
go at
shows.
90210.
I'll
Tell us
try
if it's
it.
better.
I'll try it.
And let us know what you think of Baywatch.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, Melrose Place has stopped working now.
Well, that was great.
Well,
Well, I hope
we
your legs
had
better
some
next week.
laughs. We
Well, we'll play something equally shit, which is. Thank you, everyone. Played the pod today. We'll see you guys next week.
nostalgia, but that's about it.
And join us for the upload for Jordan's sperm donation story.
Yeah, and our shitting on swollen fingers. Yeah.